All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. And in this video, we're going to be in the 154-pound division where it appears that things will be heating up. But one of the people that a former champion, Sharmba Mitchell from the great, I think he's from Washington, D.C. He may be from Maryland, but I believe he's from Washington, D.C. Formerly fought Floyd Mayweather Jr., extremely good fighter in the lost to Costa Tszyu, Tim Tszyu's father, made a statement about what Errol Spence Jr. will do at 154 pounds against Terrence Crawford. And it goes against the grain of what a lot of other people have to say. So let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 154-pound division where there's somebody out there that is not sticking a fork in Errol Spence Jr. over one loss and accepting the truth that one person can look very off in a fight, especially if things are not right with them. And the person that talked about this is Sharmba Mitchell. So let's talk about what he had to say and what it means, what he said it means for the Terrence Crawford rematch. But before we get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really does make a huge difference to the channel. Now let's get into this because Sharmba Mitchell was one of my favorite fighters back in the day when he fought early 2000. He fought at, I do believe he fought at both 130 and 135, all the way up to 140. Very good fighter. Lost some of the big fights that he had. I do believe he lost to both Costa Tszyu and lost to Floyd Mayweather Jr. But very, very nice guy. Obviously a very knowledgeable guy about the sport of boxing. Now, I say that because, I'm still a little bit put off by the fact that there is I believe he's a world-class trainer out of Philadelphia that really took the position that Errol Spence Jr. is washed up, that he's done. There's no way he could ever come back. He's not even good enough to spar contenders anymore, based off that performance. So this is a direct contradiction for somebody that I would say has every bit as much experience as he does, and probably a little bit more, seeing as that he reached levels in the game that the vast majority of boxers never do. And so what Sharmba Mitchell has said is that, look, man, weight plays a really big role in trying to fight somebody. Right? He said, look, man, I know about it personally. He said that he's a big fan of Errol Spence. He loves how Errol Spence Jr. fights, but said, look, man, Errol Spence Jr. couldn't make the weight and he didn't look right because he didn't make the weight. And making weight is a very serious thing, man. It can deplete you. It can really drain you. And he said, look, I know that. Right now, once again, this is somebody that has been in the ring with and fought multiple Hall of Fame fighters, was a world champion. I do believe he's a world champion. At the time, I wasn't tracking the belts as closely and all of that. I just was in Washington, D.C., living in D.C. at the time. So, really big on the fighters in DC. But so Sharmba Mitchell's like, look, it's going to, and then Sharmba Mitchell, and by the way, this interview was done by YSM Sports Media. You can go check it out on their page. Asked him specifically, what do you think the rematch with Terrence Crawford would look like? Do you think it would look better? He said, oh, absolutely. Definitely believe it's going to look better. And he said, look, man, you can quote me on that. I'll go on the record saying that. Right now, he had a little bit of a giggle to it. It looked like he might not have been 100% confident in that last portion of it, to be honest with you. However, Again, I would not be surprised at all if Errol Spence Jr. looked a lot better at the next weight class. And it's just really a real funny thing that goes on in boxing. And I mean, it goes on in some sports, other sports as well. But I don't think anywhere does it apply more to American boxers, where they can lose one fight and all of a sudden you just throw them in the trash can. They're no good. They were never any good. If there's a reason why they didn't perform well, it's an excuse. And if they're and everything that they did before in their career was just a facade. And then, of course, the person that wins is the greatest fighter ever for having beaten them. The same thing took place with and this is an example I'm going to continue to use: Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. And the fact that Deontay Wilder was completely written off as needing to retire, should never get back in the ring again. He's completely trash after his fight with Tyson, the second fight with Tyson Fury. And I do believe some people said it after the third fight against Tyson Fury, even though a lot of people were like, man, he really came back in the third fight and in a lot of people's minds redeemed himself. Now, he didn't. He lost by knockout in the third fight as well, but in a lot of people's mind, really redeemed himself. But the thing that really redeemed Deontay Wilder was the fight that when he came back and he fought Robert Helenius and looked like he didn't miss a beat. Winds up in the first round, getting a first round knockout against Robert Helenius, somebody that was a durable, at the time was considered a durable heavyweight champion. He had been knocked out before, but had come off some big wins against Adam Kwanaki, who at the time Helenius beat him, was considered, one of the up and coming heavyweights. And I don't see any reason why that can't occur for Errol Spence Jr. as well. And more importantly than just, being able to see it inside of the ring, I just would think that some people I just think it's ironic that so many people in boxing would say, people in boxing, when it comes to talking about a fighter and criticizing a fighter, it's just the really selective applying of standards to fighters. Like if you say something like, oh, I think this fighter is scared to get in the ring with someone. Oh, how can you ever say something bad about a fighter and claim a fighter is scared? That's disrespectful to the fighter. These fighters are warriors. These fighters aren't scared. But if a fighter loses, you can call, or don't call him a bum. It's not right to ever call a fighter a bum. Don't say that word. But let a fighter that they don't like have something happening to him, and then every kind of trash could possibly be, who should never get in the ring again, never come. It's just absolutely ridiculous, man. So I personally am rooting for the statement by Charmaine Mitchell. I hope he's 100% right. Errol Spence Jr. is very good for the sport of boxing. He's one of these people that will actually fight people, and never has talked around, I'm just going to go and see, I don't want to fight this guy because I want more money and this guy, he needs to come up and wait his turn. Doesn't do any of that type of stuff. And I think that is really good for boxing fans. And he is a major part to a great fight, a great year of boxing that we had. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.